Man, it's a bunch of. I'm just gonna say it. It's a bunch of cover-ups, man. Allegedly, I gotta say allegedly. I gotta add allegedly. Um, in the city of Flint, man, and we all know who behind most of the cover-ups. I ain't gonna even say his name, but allegedly, like I said, all I can say is this: justice for the Mitchell boys, and justice for Montrese Davis, and also justice for Chief Burton. You know what I mean? And all I'm gonna say, all that certain person got to do is call Kwame Kilpatrick. You're not untouchable. That's all I gotta say about that.
And we cannot forget about Chief Burton. And let me tell you something. When it comes to when Mayor Neely first got into office, there were some things I knew he was getting rid of. He was, getting rid of the police chief, and Chief Hart was coming in. And me and him had a talk. I said, I said, the fire department is fine. They're running effectively. They're running smoothly. That department is good, because I knew Ray Barton. Ray Barton, I've known him for over 30 something years. He's a librarian, and he used to work at the library, the Flint Public Library. And my ex-husband, which we shared, my last name used to be Barton. People thought that me and Ray Barton were we were relatives, and we're not. And both of them went through the fire academy at different places. Chief Barton went to Flint Fire. My ex-husband went to Saginaw Fire Department. So when we talk about going way back, and they would share the same books with each other. Both of them are, I love the library, and they would share the same books. I know him. He's a good man. That tore him apart. It tore him apart to see that. And then when you're being told to not say something, I don't want you to say something. You don't talk, or and you in your heart of hearts are feeling like it's on my conscience and I gotta talk. That is a heavy burden, especially when two children who have the same color skin as you have lost their lives. Even if they were white, it's a tragedy. Any child. But when you have a Black mayor telling a Black fire chief to lie about two Black children who lost their lives, we have a problem. I have known Chief Barton.
Ms. Barnes, when you get done, you got to call her. Hold on. Go ahead.
So I know Chief Barton is a good man, and he does stuff for free. Whenever you ask him to show up for something, all right, I'm there. And he's not a whole lot of hoopla. He's not he's not Eric Mays, with that's not him. He's
straight to business.
He goes in, he does his job, and we don't know how much he does. Then we had Deputy Chief Carrie Edwards. We had a great team. There was no money for the Flint Fire Department. They were keeping that together and keeping this city safe for the residents, which was something that they were doing a hell of a job. They worked their, and I'm going to say, asses off to maintain. We have fire search and rescue. Fire Chief Barton did, and Deputy Chief Carrie Edwards did. And when to have them to both not be there, to lose the top 1 and 2 at the same time, that should never happen. That shouldn't happen. I don't know what's going to come out of this. What I do know is, as a mom, I can't tell Miss Crystal Cooper or the children's father how they feel, because my children, to God be the glory, are still living. I don't know how. I don't know how she's doing. I don't know how. But we need to keep her held up in prayer, and we need to make sure in this community that it was a mistake. It happened, and we need to support her, because she still has to live through this. There's no amount of money, whatever this lawsuit, that's going to satisfy her. She doesn't get her children.
She got the finger pointed at her. That's don't never point the finger at the victim again. That's sad.
But we had other Black people in the Black community doing it. And when we have them doing it, it allows others who don't share the same melanated skin as we do, that it's giving them a free pass to do it. It's not okay if the children are Black or white to say the parents are our fault. I don't care what color you are. When it comes to that situation, You don't blame the parent. Not when it's tragic. Mistakes happen. What shouldn't have happened was them not, falsifying those documents, saying we searched that room and you didn't. Come out and say you made a mistake. Because mistakes, unfortunately, happen.
I'll interrupt you right quick. Shout out Arthur Woodson. Shout out to Arthur Woodson. Shout out to Arthur Woodson, because no matter how many people tried, because it was a lot of them out there trying to change all that, he stuck to his gun, and he got them right next to where they are now. And I salute you for that. I salute Arthur Woodson for that, and we need that, because we are in a time where people like to change the subject. I'm gonna give y'all with Devon Drees. I know I don't have a direct line to the mayor. I know I don't have a direct line to Chief Green, but I know a person that do, and I called that person, and that person instantly pissed me off and said, "Oh, he had an arrest warrant." A warrant has nothing to do with whether or not you were chasing that guy, and there's no police chases in Flint.
I don't, that part.
Hey, Ms. Burns, I got a caller for you. Go ahead, caller.
Hello?
Go ahead. She can hear you. Yeah, she can hear you. Go ahead.
Hey, this is Dante. I was calling to ask. I brought these situations up like 2 years ago. My first initiation conversation with you was most of the crimes, statistically proven, most of the crimes is coming from the departments. It's not coming from inside the city. As bad as it looked at one time, you would say that, yeah, they would blame it on us or the little kids, the little black kids is this and that, but that wasn't the situation. Instead of like, we always say like, oh, we can talk about it and do something. They're not just talking about it and not doing nothing about it. They're reforming, their space. Like it's about power, and it's a lack of that control and power in our field. We don't have the same, resources they have, I guess.
Well, are you speaking as far as, are you saying you're comparing the police department with the public, or what are your comparisons that you're drawing?
I'm saying all the departments, the legislation at itself, and if all the Flint litigation that goes on, everything is controlled.
So you're saying that the litigation is controlled. So you're saying that when it goes to court, that
when it goes to court, when even at a lower level, just us in this system, they're all controlling it. Like if we would have had the plan when I came to y'all with mental health, just be honest, when I came to y'all with mental health, we would have had this ball rolling, and this program could have been so lucrative for the state, the whole state of Michigan, not just Flint, but we could have been advanced, and this could have been money that could have been brought in. So now everybody's on it. Everybody got the idea. Everybody's rolling the ball. So,
well, 2 years ago, I was not the council person. Yeah, two years ago, I was not the council person. I support mental health services, and people will tell you, I believe, hey, therapy. I mean, you want a healthy body, healthy mind, healthy spirit. That is important to me. Now we do have a millage to where Genesee County Community Mental Health is receiving money, and that rollout on that has been, I don't know where that's at. But we do pay for that. There is mental health services over at St. Mark Church with Pastor Thompson, and there are some other agencies. One of the problems, Dante, that I found out, people don't know where to get resources, where they're at, where they're posted, how to receive them. One thing I do not, and I did speak with Chief Green. I've spoken with him numerous times about this. When police officers come to certain scenes, they're supposed to be offering help for certain and connecting them. And this is something that is set up with the city. And because that was one of the issues I did speak with him about. And even services for family.
But when you on mental health, you have to be drooling, retarded. Their perception of mental disabilities is not the same as mental disabilities is equipped with. Jeffrey Dahmer wasn't as stupid and retarded and drooling and uneducated. Marilyn Manson wasn't dumb, stupid, retarded, and uneducated. Jack Kevorkian was a doctor. Like, the perception of what they have for mental health is wrong. The police, their attitude with conducting themselves and with the public and the people is wrong. If they're under oath, their oath is to serve and protect. Serve comes first, then protect comes next. So that way they have a code of conduct of ethics they supposed to uphold. I can get as mad and as pissed and as upset as I want to. They on their job. I'm not working. That's how it's supposed to be, but it's vice versa.
Well, code of conduct needs definitely.
Well, and there has to be proper training, for the departments that they know how to handle it. Definitely. One thing, in our department, not just our department, a lot of, and I'm not giving excuses. They're short. So they're running from call to call. They don't have time to spend the amount of time that they would need because we don't really have community policing. For someone to be there, they're running from gunshot to gunshot. So
I want to address that right quick, Tonya.
Go ahead.
Okay. I have been talking to y'all. It's a known fact. We need more police officers. And it's also a known fact that we are losing our police officers shortly after they come out of training. What needs to be done to bring more police officers and better pay and competitive pay for our police force? What do we have to do? What do y'all have to propose that we have to support? Because it's going to take us to get this done.
They have a union and they have a contract that's coming up, I believe, on the agenda for Monday. So that will be going over this Monday. So that's why residents have to get involved, get engaged. People say, I don't want to sit in council meetings because they're too long. Can you afford to not sit in council meetings? And how are things working out for you? And that's the thing. We cannot say, I want things to improve and don't do anything. What to say, faith without works is dead. You have to get involved. This is a call I got to take real quick. Can you mute my mic? This is about the water.
Okay.
Yeah, I got you. Hold on.
You got to mute it.
Hold on. I got you. Hold on. Let me take Miss Tonya off right quick. Go ahead. All right. Go ahead, Rick.
Okay. Now, y'all hear me. I'm preaching about the body cams. I'm preaching about the dash cams. I'm preaching about the injustices that's being done by our police department. But I want to say this. I know a lot of police that work in the city of Flint, and all of them don't give me that bad feeling. And matter of fact, I had a meeting with two of them yesterday, and I'm going to stand up and I'm going to fight because we need quality policing. And if you can get paid more money to not deal with as many problems as you would be dealing with in the city of Flint, then you're going to continue to lose your officers. Ms. Burns, I was just telling the people, because I'll be griping about the police a lot. But it is a lot of good ones out there, and they deserve a pay raise, and they deserve the kind of living that would keep them wanting to come to work and do a great job, not a frustrating job for the citizens of Flint.
Right, and I support the police. I support good police, and I know a lot of great police men and women. I do, and so when we talk about working conditions and pay, it's important. And then also leadership. People want to go where they're appreciated, they're paid for their service, they're respected, and they want to get back. That is the ultimate public service job. When you go in there and you risking your life, because I had a high-speed chase. I was bringing in the dog last Saturday, and I was bringing him in, and I had looked down. I see it was Flint Township had pulled down. They were pulling. It was a 4-door 10 Malibu in front of them. And you know, your intuition is like, something, this isn't right. And so they pulled down maybe a house down past me. And I'm watching, like, let me just stay here and watch. Not only for the residents' safety or the people in the vehicle, but for the police officer's safety. Because, you know, adrenaline gets to rush, and I just knew it. So the one officer got on the right-hand side. He went around to the driver's side, then he went around to the passenger side. I ended up grabbing my phone then. And sure enough, when he was talking with them, they took off. They like pushed him back. He fell into the bank. It was still snow on the ground. He fell back into the snow. Then he got up real quick, jumped in the passenger side of the cruiser, and they took off. But the helicopter was there. And so I'm like, this, you know, only thing that they still gonna get arrested because they're not gonna outrun the Michigan State Trooper Chopper 1. I think that's the whole name. So when we talk about how we get good police, we have to tell our leadership we want good police. And also there needs to be, I feel, an advisory to where, you know, we're residents talk with them. You know, we getting the same people. Now our person, the community policing person is Sergeant Booth. And I've got people called and told me they don't want him at another meeting.
Absolutely. They shouldn't want him there.
Yeah,
hey, go ahead.
And I had people tell me, why was he at a meeting this past week with the mayor? You know, and I'm going to tell you something. I do not have anything against Sergeant Booth. He has always been respectful to me. He has always been very personable. He has always called me back. Now, if he made a dumb mistake, I don't, you know, I wasn't there at that time. That part was prior to me. And I've never had a conversation with Sergeant Booth, but he has always gotten back with me very timely. I mean, very respectful to me and addressed my needs. But this case coming back up, it's hot. You know, and as a woman, you know, as a council person, you know, we have to look at what is the sexual harassment. And I don't want to, you know, indict him or incriminate him on anything. My experience with him has nothing but been professional.
He's still innocent to proven guilty, right? Did he?
Well, there's no. I mean, this was a settlement. This was a settlement. So it didn't go. It didn't.
Oh, so they okay. So basically, he admitted to it, right?
No, I mean he. There was no settlement. It means you're not guilty or.
Or you just plead to fifth.
Well, it never went to court. It's settled. So none of that is relevant. None of that is relevant. But like I said, so we haven't heard her side. You know, which is I'm watching the news like all of you. No, she does a news show and talks about it. You know, I'm going to be listening in. I will be listening in like everyone else because people do want to hear her side of the story. But I want to say, I did not have, you know, community policing. Sergeant Booth is very well spoken. Pardon me.
Can she do a show being that she took that settlement? It could part of that settlement be that she had to be quiet.
I'm not her attorney. I don't think she has that. I think she can talk. You know, but people who want, I mean, maybe they should reach out. I mean, her side of the story should be told. You got Councilman Mays pushing at that podium, and that exchange between him and Chief Green was terrible.
You should see that.
Hey, I want to
see the Facebook exchanges that's going on between Winters Hall and a couple of people. It's really you think that's something. That's really something.
You know, Winter's show is you know, she get into it. She put it up there, and it's like she lay it on the floor. But John, your show, you land it on the floor too.
Hey, Ms. Burns, I got one last question for you. For me, I know you can't say too much, but I want your honest opinion. How I know, I mean, I'm not asking you to say nothing messed up or nothing. But how is it your honest opinion working with this council, man? Is it, you know what I mean? How do you really feel about working with this council you on right now? Yeah, yeah. I was gonna ask you that. Now, come on now.
And I've watched I council all the way back, and attended meetings. So I didn't just jump on council and, I've watched them for a decade, past 10 years plus. So this council, you got to have some skin in the game in the community. And, a lot of people, like to say pretty speeches, and I'm looking at, where was you for the water crisis? Did you protest? Have you delivered water? Have you, there's so much, the quickness to shut people down is a problem for me. People is very clear. We're split, usually a 5-6 vote. And when we vote, I vote fair, and I vote my conscience. And I also vote according to how the residents in my ward is a split ward. My demographic is almost, it's probably almost like a 60-40 or 50-50 when it comes to black and white. So I'm really a neutral person. Wards 1, 2, and 3 are 90% black. Wards 1, 2, and 3 are wards 90% black. So for them, they have to have a black agenda. We have 5 black council people and no black agenda in a city that's predominantly black, with a black mayor, a black fire chief, and a black police chief. We have no black agenda. And so when we look, and a black school board predominantly. So when we look at that, is our race, we keep giving up all of our power. So when people say that, this is the question I ask everybody. When people call me and it's not in my district, or they used to be in my district, and they're now switched over. Some say they're not changed. They don't like the new council person. They're not dealing with them. And that is what it is. You can't make nobody call somebody. You can't do that.
Hey, Miss Ty, I lied. I got one more question for you. This Black History Month, what does it mean to you as you being a black woman? We got a black woman on the Michigan Supreme Court Justice. We also got a black woman on the U.S. Supreme Court Justice. What does Black History Month mean to you as a woman in power?
Well, let me say this, and I'm gonna wrap this other one up. When we talk about the council, this council needs to find more common things to work together. In a black city with a predominantly black council, there should be a black agenda for the black people. Those are the voters, and there should be that. So when we talk about what do we have, when we talk about women and black women in power, I met the Supreme Court before she was a Supreme Court justice. She was running. I like her. I really do like her. But we have to hold our black elected officials hands to the fire. We talk about black representation. I do not forget where I come from. And if y'all call me, you get Tonya. I'll be like, you just call me Tonya. Titles don't make it. Some people get stuck on titles. They get stuck on the title and they forget about the work. And I would tell people, a title is not a paycheck. And what is your paycheck? I'm trying to get to heaven. I'm worried about and concerned about paying my dues so that, I know who holding me accountable. I want God to say, hey, sir, job well done. And that is my purpose. When I look at some of our black leaders, they need to be researching black history, because each black person that sits in the seat, someone before them paved the road, whether it was the Civil Rights Bill, fair housing, equal jobs and opportunity. Someone black paved the way for them. And now a lot of these folks, they brand new. I'm the first woman to sit in the 6th ward as the council person. And I'm a black woman. So I'm the first black woman, and first black woman to sit in the 6th ward. That ward had been it was white males up until Sheldon Mayor Neely took that seat. And then it was Herbert Winfrey, and then me. So I'm the first woman. So we talk about Black history. We need to celebrate our melanated skin, our melanated victories. We need to, and it's okay to say that. People want to suppress it and be like, oh, you're too black. What is too black? I mean, if you come to Tonya Burns' house, and I don't care, Chinese, Asian, Middle Eastern, because I celebrate them. Depending on if whatever I'm cooking, yes, there will be greens, fried chicken, hot water, cornbread, pinto beans, because that's, you know, that's my culture. And you have to keep your culture. I will not acclimate myself to someone else's culture because I'm very proud of what my heritage, my ancestors, and what people need to remember. Every Black person came over here as a slave, whether they were an indentured servant or not. We didn't have the same rights. We did not. So we got to quit acting like we brand new or I'm better than you. We're not better than each other. We are absolutely not. And I'm not acclimating myself to somebody else. And not one white person has ever told me we need you to acclimate yourself to appease us. That hasn't happened. And I didn't deal with some, you know, I done flown on private jets with people with sending me places. I've ate at some the finest restaurants, nicest vacation places. It's how you do business. What they never asked me to do was sell my race out. Now, I done got into it with a couple of them who were racist who wanted to check me with your boy Obama. Hold up. Y'all, now I may think Obama could have done more. President Obama could have done more. But what you don't get to do is speak on that, not in front of me. But what the funny thing was,
because he could have done less.
Right. But the funny thing was, I didn't have to check the two races. Who checked them was some two white twin brothers who lived in Seattle. And then the president at the time of ADT, Joe checked them, and Joe was white. So when we talk about, you know, other people, when you talk, we got to get together and understand and celebrate each other's differences. That's how I feel.
Hey, let me chime in right quick, Rich. Then we get you something in closing, and then we get Miss Tonya in closing because we've been on almost an hour and a half. I know she's busy. Listen, I want to piggyback off what you said about basically being pro-Black. I got a lot of white friends. I don't got a racist bone in my body. There's nothing wrong with being pro-Black, pro your race, whatever your race is. There's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that. And then piggyback on what you said when they said something about Obama, a lot of people might get mad at me, what I'm finna say. But y'all probably heard me say it before. Trump did more for Black people than Obama did. And I'm just gonna leave it right there. And it's facts though. That's a fact. I mean, I'm glad he was our first Black president. All that. I'm glad all that. That's hunky dory. But he didn't do too much for the Black people that he should have. You know what I mean? But like I said, ain't nothing wrong with being pro-Black, and I don't got a prejudice bone in my body. You know what I'm saying?
Hakeem Jeffries, you can see that they're pushing him to be Hakeem Jeffries. I'm thinking they're gonna want to push him maybe for president because they're really saying, "Oh, Hakeem Jeffries." I like Hakeem Jeffries, and they're saying he's a great orator. You know, and when I think of a great orator, I'm sorry, Dr. King's speeches, and I studied him in college. That's a hard speech to follow. Dr. King had some speeches that were just anointed. I'm not in his personal life or in his bed where people will say, oh, well, he messed around on his wife. Well, you know what? Everybody's seeing. But them speeches and what he did, and to be nonviolent, he did something that most people could not do. Nonviolent. And that time and period. But I'm with you. I feel Obama, president, because I'm going to put some respect on his name. President Obama, we wanted to see do more.
And on top of that, all he did was came to Flint and lied, drunk that water. He ain't even had to do that. He ain't had to do. I got to cuss one time, Miss Tonya. He ain't had to do that shit because he was on his way out the door. I can see if he was running for a re-election, he was on his way out the door. He didn't have to come up to Northwestern, sip the water, barely touch his lips, and say, Flint water is fixed. He wrong, man. I got people right now in Atlanta, Texas, California. Every time I talk to them, we thought the water was fixed. Oh, y'all thought the water was fixed because Obama drank the water, huh? You know what I mean? So he was wrong for that.
But see, that's
he was wrong. He was wrong for that. That really, that's why I'm mad at him. Other than that, you know what I mean?
And that's where you said something very key. Messaging. They know it's messaging and marketing. To have President Obama drink that water did send a signal the water is okay to the world. So certain cues and things are done slick. You have to pay attention to that. That was done on purpose. Send a message that the water is okay. And that sends a message that the federal government is aware of it. And they're making, and you feel like, okay, well, the president knows Flint has got to be okay. That is what that message did. Just like you puts a new pair of shoes on, let's say them Jeezys that Kanye West. That's some ugly shoes.
Them Yeezys.
I call them Jeezys. them Yeezys, those are not nice looking shoes. You're paying all that money, but because they are attached to Kanye West, people want the Yeezys. They want them.
Yeah, you're right, but that was a like Gina Luster just said. His PR team made a huge mistake, and he shouldn't have did that, man. That's all I'm saying. But what you got for us, Rich? What you got? We're gonna close out in a minute, man.
Well, I gotta say, this has been a wonderful show, and I thank you, Tonya Burns and Terrence. You the man. I'm in the crowd of unfriendlies, and you made the unfriendlies friendly, turning down music and all that stuff and paying attention to conversation. So I really appreciate that. Now Tanya said something that was very important, and she said a lot that was important, but this is very important. Y'all need to get down to that council meeting on Monday. And Tanya, I'll talk to those 2 police officers, and maybe not tomorrow, and then maybe not Monday, but be prepared to see a lot of blue sitting up in there. Because like I said, most of them are good. It's just a few bad ones that I have problems with. But I'm not going to let them, the bad ones, interfere how I move. Because me and Terrence had a conversation when you came on and said that you wanted to come on with us. I said that the city council should be making $90,000 to $100,000 a year. But that council that currently is sitting in that chamber, and no offense to you, but I can't fight for that. I can't fight for that.
Well, let me tell you, go ahead.
Y'all need that, because like you said, you put in more than 8 hours a day, and you deserve that 8 hours a day pay. But I can't fight for you right now, sis, because there's gonna be rewarding 5 people that really, they voted against the House of Extra. I can't fight for them, and Pfeiffer don't need it anyway.
Pfeiffer said he has been on the record. Now, I'm not gonna lie for anybody, but I ain't gonna lie on him. Pfeiffer did state that he did wish that council was paid more, but he does not want he does not want nor need it. With his business, my business predominantly, I didn't make money here in Flint. I kept it based here, but I made my money in Illinois. Michigan was such a tough market, but I kept it based here because I believe in Flint. But now I'm here 100% of the time, and when we talk about that it's hard, but and it's not an 8-hour job. Let me tell you, Rich, it's mine is 24/7. I have had to go. I remember the hardest call I got was when I got a call where a mom, her home was shot up, and I think she had, that time it was 29 bullets in it, and it was she called me, and I'd taken that dog out. And when I came back in, she had called me like 5-6 times, and I called her back, and she was hysterical. And she was so hysterical. She lived on Thomas Street, and we didn't have a police officer to send to her home. I called the Michigan State Post Commander, and she picked her. She didn't say hi. She said, "I'm answering you on my iPad. Give me the address." And I'm giving her the address. So immediately she's dispatching, and she don't even live with the post commander. She's dispatching the troopers over there. Within 2 to 3 minutes, Michigan State troopers locked down Thomas Street, gotten footage, did an investigation. I had called Chief Green first. I didn't get a call. I texted him and I called him. I had a conversation with him 2 council meetings ago. I said, "Chief, I've been trying to contact you. I called you, I texted you, I emailed you." I said, "I need to speak with you." He said, "What?" He said, nah. I said, "Nah." He said, I said, I'm serious about this, but I have a meeting. What do you need? I said, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm headed back into a meeting. What do you want? I said, no. You keep that energy. Because what I haven't done is talk about that police department with everything I know that's going on. When I'm asking you about issues that are going on, you the department head, it's your responsibility to answer. I'm trying to help you, but you can't, I don't get it. I mean, it's like, take your personal feelings out of stuff. I'm calling you about issues with the community or emailing you. If you're getting an email, respond. But I will say this, Booth does respond to me, Sergeant Booth. He would always respond. And that, like I said, I didn't have an incident with him. I appreciate it, but we didn't get all the, we still have to work with
pray
them.
for Sergeant Booth, because this, I know it ain't looking good for him, but he not a terrible person. But it is what it is as far as that them phone calls and text messages go. But as an individual, minus all of that, he's a good person. But it's just sad. It's just sad things working out the way that it is.
Yeah. And did he make us? We are all human. Did he make a stupid mistake?
He made some terrible decisions.
We don't know, right? But I have always had a positive interaction with Sergeant Booth, and that goes back to 2019 with working with him. He is, to me, he has always been very respectful to me. And always, well, how can I help you? Which I have the how can I help you attitude. But I don't know what happened, I don't know. That's not my job to do that. Council had to make a decision. We had 3 voted no, 1 was absent. I think Pfeiffer was absent, and the other 5 voted yes to pass that. Yep. So we will see. I know Monday afternoon, what councilman made something. They didn't call it a tiger by the tail. I don't think Chief Green will be in council chambers on Monday because he knows that Councilman Mays it's going to probably be a problem. I don't think he's going to be there because Clyde Edwards dismissed them right after that exchange. He dismissed all the staff before 9:00 after the exchange.
They probably won't send no staff up there Monday. They probably be staffless.
Right, but here's the thing: the public has got to start speaking out about that. Like I said, they didn't play out their playbook. I'll get back with you. Can you send me an email? They should have did that. Terrence, I know we just talking and taking over your show. And Terrence, I want to say this. I think I said more cuss words than you did. I said 2. You may have said 1.
Hey, it's Tanya, I broke the record. I only said 1 cuss word. I broke the record.
You're doing good, man. 2023. Thank y'all. I love y'all. But Miss Burns, I also want to give you a shout out because you stood up when we were getting those late night phone calls and people tried to change your subject and your direction and your conversation, and you didn't let it change. And I give you shout outs for that too when you was reporting all of those students and giving those shouts out to those people to try to curb the violence in Flint. I appreciate you for that too. I remember that. I mean, and like I said, it's a shame. This woman was appealing to parents after they had lost their children and stuff, and yet people, instead of trying to get in and help and make it go better and smoothing things out for them, they want to attack Tanya.
Hey, Miss Tanya, let me say this right quick. I just want to tell you, I extend my hand out to you anytime you need this platform. You're welcome. And despite what you heard, I'm not saying you did or whatever they said about me, it wasn't too bad, was it, Miss Tanya? It was all right, so wasn't it?
You're not listening.
And I ain't cussed because of you. I respect you.
And I respect you, and I respect your platform.
Thank you.
I appreciate you getting this out to the public. And what people say, you got to deal with everybody. Like I tell people, the hood been good to me. I know where I came from. My grandma used to play cards, and she used to take me as a little girl to play cards, and that's a part of the Black culture. And I talk about it. So listen, you cussing, You know, I appreciate you respecting me.
Hey, Miss Burns. That's the snow show. That's the snow show when I cut up. That's the snow show. Everybody, look, everybody. Ain't nobody safe from the snow show. Nobody.
I know. Thank you for having me. And let me tell you something. You know, you can do a lot of shows, but the shows that matter to me are the ones who are community based. Those are the ones that touch my heart. I had someone send me a text message, and I was shocked. And the person said, "Thank you for standing up for the community. You know, you make my heart smile." You know, and I appreciate, because that's, most people don't know that's a term that I use to people, that you make my heart smile. And this is from another Black person in our community that I respect.
Thank you, Ms. Brenda.
That I respect. So when the community shows, it begins local. I'm local, and that I want to do good for my community. I just need my community to have my back. That's
hey, you well respected, Miss Tonya Burns. You respected, and you see right there at the left of you, right there. You see, I got a water crisis memoir I wrote. I got no support. I wrote it like 2 years ago during the pandemic. It's called Black Water. I'm gonna get you a copy. It's called Black Water. On the Flint water crisis. It's like a 15, 20-minute read. It's a memoir. You know, they sound ignorant, dumb, and belligerent and all that, like they do, Eric. But I'm educated. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna send you a copy of this memoir. It should have went viral. I didn't get no support. I get support from Atlanta, California, Texas, but no support from Flint, Michigan. But
send me a copy. But we got.
I got you. I'm gonna send you a copy.
Can we re-release it or anything?
You say what?
Can we re-release it? Release it again?
Yeah. We'll re-release it.
The book signings again.
Yeah, we'll re-release it. We'll do it. But I just want to say that, Miss Tonya Burns. What you got for us in closing, Miss Tonya?
I want you to know this. I'm a part of this community too. I don't judge anybody. I never ever judge you, because I do watch your show. I watch your show. I watch the Wendell Hall show. I watch Arthur Woodson's. I don't know if you call his a show. He just on all the time.
That's Debo. Right. Hey, Miss Ty, that's Debo.
Debo is always on all the time. So, I do support those who are local. Those of you, that's where my heart is at. Home is where the heart is. And I never thought, listen, if you ever talk to my daddy, trust me, he swear more than you. So believe me. And he's very straightforward and direct. So I appreciate you having me on. This was good. Hello. Well, look like Rich trying to order.
Man, Rich, you know what? This time, Rich got to go. Look, he got to get some what you call it, Facebook etiquette or something. Rich always messes the live up, man. But you got anything to say in closing, Miss Tonya? We're gonna get out of here.
Say for everyone, the council meetings. I know people say they long. You got to show up, because if we want our council or in our city to improve, we got to show up. And you look at how it works. When people come in and they say that Saturday, when you say, hey, this is what I need my council person to do. I invite my residents to come all the time. And it's usually someone always from the 6th ward that's in there. You got to speak up for yourself. And we can't just say, oh, well, they're just not going to change. We have to force the hands of some people to change. And especially if we feel we're not getting service in the Black community, those are wards 1, 2, and 3. What you need to do is make sure we speaking up and letting them know. If you ain't voting on Black issues that affect your ward where it's 90% Black, you got to come and speak up. If you have an issue, there's an issue. I've been getting calls for Fenton Road, where they have a lot of prostitution. They need to speak up. That's not even my ward, Fenton Road, but we have to speak up. It's going to take the community to save the community, and that's a fact. Love to everyone, and hello and love and goodbye. Enjoy y'all evenings, and Terrence, I'm telling you, I enjoyed this, and we got to do this again.
I enjoyed you too.
Because I like keeping it real.
Yep. Yeah. But like I said, anytime you need to get on and put something out, let me know. We not just on Facebook. You gonna be on the national show. It's called Media Made Radio. On every Wednesday, I'm putting the show on there. I'll be on Twitch. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Spotify. You name it. I'm on iHeartRadio. I'm everywhere. So yeah, I ain't just on Facebook. Yo, this Salicast go everywhere. So I appreciate you, Miss Tonya Burns, spending some time with me and Rich today, and telling us the Black agenda and the things that you told us, and I appreciate you for keeping it real, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Have a good one, Terrence.
All right, you too. All right, I'm out of here. Peace.
Ray, you gone crazy. You are now tapped in with the most realist and controversial show on the net. Flint After Dark Podcast. We speak for the street. We speak for the street. Ray, you gone crazy. You are now tapped in with the most realist and controversial show on the net.